Hey friends, welcome. Alan Lee with Honestly Handyman Services here. How are y'all doing? Hey, what's up, Darren R? Good to see you, man. First one in the live chat. Glad to have you. How you doing? Were you tuning on last night with our live? Hey, how y'all doing, guys? Good to see you. Back here on another live video. Alan Lee here with Honestly Handyman Services here in the same spot I was last night. If you are joining us for the first time tonight, feel free to let me know in the chat section what your name is, where you're from, and if you have a handyman business or not. I would absolutely love to get to know you. We got Scottish Handyman Ryan. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you, man. Scottish Handyman, I love it. Darren R. Doing all right. Just quoted a hardwood job starting tomorrow. Nice. What's up, Real Handyman Service? Hey, what are y'all working on? I just had some time here. Thought I would do another live video here from St. Louis, Missouri. So, what are y'all up to tonight? Here to kind of answer some questions and also hang out with y'all. So if you got any questions for me, I would absolutely love to hear them. Also, like I said, if you are new here, feel free to leave me a comment in the chat section. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and if you have a handyman business or not. Would love to hear it. Let's see here. Let me see if I get the comments up. All right, there they are. Hey, I think we're on. I don't know what just happened here. Let me know what's up, guys. I want to have a little chat with y'all. See what you guys are up to. It's Monday, so have you guys been working on anything cool today? How was your all weekend? What's new with y'all? Just want to kind of hang out and chat about handyman business and things like that. Who all here saw my video I posted today? It was about, kind of which way you want to run your business. There's some people that, run a handyman business kind of like a full-fledged, kind of a business that can run on itself. And other people, they're kind of like, sole man and one-man shops, and it kind of relies on them. Which one do you have? Kind of interested in that. I kind of shared with a little bit of my vision of my handyman business in the video this morning. So I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on, what the best way to run a business is. Should you run it? Should you look to get, more employees? Should you just be a one-man shop? And there's nothing wrong with either one. It's kind of whatever you have, for sure. Let's see. Here's a few comments here. Let me take some comments here. The Scottish Handyman says, in Canada, building a deck currently, excellent channel. Hey, thanks, man. That's awesome. How big of a deck are you building, Ryan? That is super awesome. And I wish we could share pictures on here. I'd love to see what it looked like. Let's see. We got Fred. What happens when work slows down? What do you do to create business value in your downtime? Very important, Fred. What I would say is when work slows down, I would kind of take a step back and reevaluate maybe why did the work slow down? Is it just because of the economy, right? Or is it because maybe something you're doing in your estimates, something you're doing in the way you're presenting your business, maybe your branding, your marketing, things like that. So there's a whole bunch of questions you got to ask yourself when you have downtime. But one thing that I would definitely recommend is always work on refining and thinking more about your branding and your marketing. I think those two things together are one of the most important things you could do in your handyman business. There's always ways to drum up new business, even if that's, printing out a bunch of flyers, going door to door and putting a bunch of flyers out on door to door in your neighborhood. Then that definitely creates, value in your business in downtime. Also, another thing is to never stop learning. And a great way to do that is here on YouTube. Find some great mentors on YouTube and start learning from them. That is a super good way to do that. But that's a great question, Fred. A Real Handyman Services, I got a question. I do handyman services trying to stock up on HVAC tools. Cali is hot. So what's your question? I got a question. I do handyman services trying to stock up on some HVAC tools. Not sure what your question is there, Real Handyman Services, but I'd love to answer it. Hey, what's up, Pedro? Good to have you in the house, Pedro. Let's see here. Okay, Darren's asking, where in Canada are you? Scottish handyman. Morales Campos, what's up, man? Good to have you here. What's happening, Alan? Are you on the job right now? Santa Cruz, California. What you recommend to do when you get stinky? Take a shower. I don't know. I don't really know what the question is there. I am not on a job right now. I'm actually in St. Louis, Missouri right now. We are here for about a month and a week or so, seeking a specialist for my daughter. So we're here hanging out right now. I'm in the basement of an Airbnb that we are staying in. So that's kind of my story. If you want to hear the in-depth story of why we're here in St. Louis and what I got going on back home with my business, definitely check out the video that I posted this morning. That will give you a little glimpse into that. The neighborhood handyman, have a part-timer really like making money on jobs I didn't have to do? Definitely. Yeah, that's great. Chuck Roller says 3 Rivers handyman starting a vinyl plank flooring tomorrow. Awesome, man. I'm doing some vinyl plank flooring with one of my friends here, Seth. He is a handyman here in St. Louis, and we found him on the Handyman Journey Mastermind group on Facebook, and I'm actually going to be working with him tomorrow. We're starting a vinyl plank flooring job tomorrow as well. So looking forward to that. I guess it's at it's in a rec center at an apartment complex. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I'm looking forward to working here in St. Louis, how that's going to be different than working back at home. I know there's going to be a lot more humidity to deal with, that's for sure. It's been pretty stinking hot here. I mean, it's been reasonably. I mean, last week was really nice weather for Missouri from what I hear, but that's been nice. Scottish Handyman says 500 square feet around a pool. Just hired my first employee. Very big move for me. Dude, that is awesome, Ryan. That's great to hear that you just hired your first employee. I'm curious, where did you find your employee, Ryan? And is he an older guy, a younger guy? Does he have experience? Does he not? I think that's a good question. I think some of these guys would love to hear it. So Ottawa, Canada. Darren R says, oh, he's in Toronto. Okay. Ryan says, what is your take on tasking employees? Yes. I love taking on employees. I think employees is the way to go for sure. I currently have 2 employees, one part-time, one full-time. The part-time employee, she is a customer relations personnel, so she kind of runs the office. She takes all the phone calls, answers all the work requests that come in via email, and also sends the work requests out to the technicians, and is also in charge of things like following up with clients after we perform work at their house, and also sending thank you cards and things like that. And then we also have a full-time handyman. His name is Frank. Super amazing guy. You've probably seen him on some of my videos before. But yeah, awesome. Definitely a way to go for sure. Really feel blessed to be to have the guy and the gal that work for me. They are super awesome people. So yeah, Ryan, I think that's a great thought. How did you find your employee, Ryan? Like I said before, I would love to hear that. And is he, older, younger? How'd you find him? Does he have experience or whatnot? Anonymous Efren says, have you ever worked in apartment maintenance? I've never worked in apartment maintenance. No, I have not. Strictly residential, well, commercial as well, but never in apartments. No. Great question though. Marilyn Young says, do you still get nervous, stressed before some jobs? Yeah, some jobs I do. Great question, Marilyn Young. Hey, Marilyn, I've seen you comment quite a few times. Where are you located at? And do you have a handyman business? I would love to hear that. But yeah, so regarding stress and nervousness before jobs, I do get stressed and nervous sometimes. I mean, it happens, right? Everyone gets kind of the jitters before certain jobs. Some jobs, don't really bother me. Like if I'm going in and doing a ceiling fan for the 100,000th time, I don't really, get stressed about it. But, on certain things that I only do, every so often, I definitely get a little stressed about them, but it all depends kind of the nature of the job and also the client. The client makes things a lot easier or a lot more difficult depending on which way you go. So, yeah, great question. Let's see. Let's go back to some of these comments here. So again, I am doing another live video here. I did a live video last night. I'm here in St. Louis, and we are here for some reasons for my daughter. Said that in the video this morning, but I'm here basically just to hang out with y'all tonight and answer some questions. So if you guys have any questions at all regarding running a handyman business, starting a handyman business, or maybe even anything personal, I'd love to answer it for sure. So we got Ryan says, I was recommended him. Oh, he's talking about his employee. I was recommended him by an old work colleague. He did a couple of days with me with no experience, but he was great. Had him using lots of tools he didn't use before and took it to it instantly. Dude, Ryan, that's super awesome. And like I was saying before, I think if you were to hire an employee without knowing anyone in your area that's interested in your work, I would definitely go with someone who doesn't have any skill at all. I mean, well, not any skill at all. You want someone with a little bit of skill. But I think in my mind, people with gumption, people with wanting to learn are amazing people to get on board, because you can often train them, the way that you perform work, and train them in the skills as they move on, right? So they're not like, if that makes any sense. But I think, finding someone right out of college, like if you're really desperate for an employee, finding someone right out of college that maybe doesn't know what they want to do with life, but have been in, metal shop, wood shop, whatever, their whole high school, I think those would definitely be great people to get your hands on. So Ryan, that's a great thing that you took that guy on and that he's been working out for you. I think that's super great. Ultimately, in a handyman, what you want to find is, not someone that you need to manage, but someone who can manage themselves. And like I said, I've been incredibly blessed by the two employees that I have right now. They are such awesome people that do an amazing job managing themselves, and they're just amazing workers. I'm just so blessed. But so Marilyn Young says, my husband has a handyman business in Charleston, South Carolina. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Robert McEvoy. I'm saying that completely wrong. Good evening to you, man. Noah Blankenship, Gino Handyman out of New Orleans, just starting a duplex remodel, just doing upper unit. Awesome. That's cool. That's a really cool thing to do, duplex remodel. My wife and I, we had an idea before we had our daughter, where we were going to buy a duplex and live in half of it, and then renovate that while we rent out the other half, and then swap once we got that renovated. Things have changed a little bit since we've had a kid, but I think that's something that we would still love to do down the road. So Robert says, hey, I soaked the texture can and got really good results. Came out like a seagull on prunes. Dude, that's awesome. And I think that's the way to go, is if you are applying texture from a can, to soak that thing in hot water and shake it while you do it. Because the warmer that it is, the more that it'll flow better out of the can. That's at least what I found for texture spraying for drywall. Obviously, you don't want to get it too hot, because too hot and it will, go boom. But getting it warmer than outside temperature is very smart if it's cold, for sure. Marilyn says, your videos have been so helpful as we started our handyman business. So thank you so much. Marilyn, that's great. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate that. And I feel honored that I get to speak into some people's lives. I think it's great. So Pedro Chavez, what's up? Honestly, what's your email? But my email is, I will write it down here. It is handymanjourney@gmail.com. And also, if you are interested in some more information on how to start up a handyman business, or even grow your handyman business, check out www.handymanjourney.com. So there's a lot of great information over there, a lot of good free information and paid information as well at www.handymanjourney.com. That's a great site to check out if you are looking to start up a handyman business. But my email address is handymanjourney@gmail.com. Feel free to email me. I may not get back to you right away. It may take a few days, even a week, as I am a little busy, got things going on. So Ryan says, I totally agree. I use your videos a lot as I've been starting up my business, and it's really helped me. So thanks. Dude, that's awesome. Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Anonymous Efren says, I am 23. I have 4 years in apartment maintenance in repairing, installing, troubleshooting in HVAC, plumbing, electricity, kitchen, appliance, hardware, drywall. I am in Dallas, Texas. I feel I need to start my own side business, something small to start with. Efren, I think that's a great idea. I think you should definitely do that. I am all for people starting their own handyman business. You might find that it's a little bit easier than you think. It's a very daunting task, and it's not for everyone. I mean, owning a handyman business is definitely not for everyone. You have to be able to, ebb and flow with the ups and downs in the economy, and also kind of always have your head, looking forward, no matter how jobs go or things like that, to not get extremely discouraged, but to continue looking forward to the future and what your business goals are as a handyman. So I think that's a great goal to reach for. And it sounds like, you have some experience. You have 4 years in apartment maintenance. What I would recommend starting out your own handyman business, I would recommend starting with the skills and the knowledge that you have personally, and then moving from there. So if you feel the most comfortable with, say, HVAC or plumbing or electrical or kitchen appliances or drywall, start with that, and start offering those services, and then start moving into more services as you go. So oftentimes, say you're there fixing some drywall for a person, someone might say, hey, I got a ceiling fan that needs to be installed. Can you do that? And you may not be the most proficient or the fastest or know exactly how to price that ceiling fan job, but you know how to do it. You can go ahead and take that ceiling fan job on if your laws allow it, and move on from there. So then that's how you start acquiring more skills and more things that your business can offer. So if you haven't yet, if you're watching this video, feel free to like this video. It helps a lot. And also, if you haven't yet, leave me a comment in this chat section here. And if you haven't yet, watch the video from this morning. Pretty good video, kind of explaining, what I got going on, where I'm currently at, and why I'm here, and the things I've been doing, and also the things I got, moving forward. So some of the cool things that I'm doing here in St. Louis is, like I said, tomorrow I'm starting a laminate flooring job with a great handyman named Seth. Super excited about that. He started up his business a little while ago, and but he's got experience in working for various construction jobs, like roof maintenance and things like that. So I'm looking forward to work with him, and I'm starting that tomorrow. So we're starting a laminate flooring job tomorrow, and then we are also then we did another estimate for a lady last Friday. She accepted the estimate, so we need to schedule that. Efren asks, how should I start pricing, hourly or by the job? I would recommend, when you first start out, start charging hourly. And really the way that you price, that's your own preference. That no one can tell you the way to price and it work out great for everyone. But I would definitely recommend starting out hourly, because you're going to figure out very quickly what your hourly rate needs to be, and also if you're charging too much or too little, right? So if you go out and do a job, say install a ceiling fan, and you don't really know how long it's going to take you, but you know how to do it. Go out, charge whatever you feel the going rate in your area is. If it's $25 an hour, do $25 an hour. I think it's probably higher than that. I would probably start out no less than $40 or $50 an hour, and go ahead and do that ceiling fan. If that ceiling fan takes you a half an hour or an hour, then at the end of the day, when you get that $40 or $50 per hour, you are going to look back at your day and be like, wow, that ceiling fan was either too hard for the amount of money I got, it took too long for the amount of money, or it went way too quick for the amount of money, and it was so easy compared to the amount of money I got. So you're going to be able to adjust your price from there, right? So there's a few factors that you need to think about when you're pricing or establishing your pricing. Is you have to look at what the market value is for the job that you're doing, and also your need as a handyman and as a person to survive. So you're going to need to balance those two and figure out what the optimal price is for that specific project that you're doing in your town. So I would recommend starting with pricing. So say for, we'll take the idea of a ceiling fan install like we already started with. You can start charging out hourly for ceiling fans. And then if you realize that hey, the market value for ceiling fans is not down here what I was charging, but it's way up here, then you can adjust accordingly. You don't have to go straight to that market value. Say your market value is $150 for a ceiling fan, and you only charge $40 to install it. And next time you feel more confident, you can bump it up to maybe, $60, $75, and then you continue moving up there each time you continue advancing. But that is a great thing to think about for sure. We got Los Luna Loft says, hello, I live in Seattle. We started our own business remodeling bathroom and kitchen. We do quality work. Same people don't want to pay for good work. What do you recommend? Thanks. Yeah. So if people don't want to pay for quality work, then they're not your ideal customer. That's just, that's how plain it is, right? You need to, that's another thing about learning how to price and market and things like that, is you need to know how to find your ideal client. And oftentimes the first people that reach out to you are not going to be your ideal clients. And you need to be okay with that. You need to understand how to recognize that and how to move past that. There's a lot of that great information over there at handymanjourney.com if you want to get some great information and knowledge and training on pricing and marketing. Let's see here. Anthony Flores says, so I've been part-time, but want to get more leads / business. My town is only 56,000 population. 15 minutes away is another 50,000 town. Then 30 minutes away is a 1 million population. But then there's a lot of traffic for sure. How can I increase customer base? Did you move out of Sacktown? Know your hours of production and set your rate off that. Very well said, Dan Bob. That's what you need to do for sure. So Anthony Flores, I did not move out of Sacktown. I still live in Citrus Heights. I am currently in St. Louis, Missouri, like I discussed before, because my daughter, we are here seeking a specialist, medical specialist for her. I discussed that pretty in depth in the video I posted this morning. So check that out. I'll give you some more information on that. So as far as increasing customer base in your town of 56,000, there is definitely huge opportunity in a town of only 56,000. The town that I live in currently has 80,000 population, but it is surrounded by a lot of other towns that are 10, 15 minutes away that have much bigger population than that, probably in the range of 80 to 100,000. But there is some huge advantage to being in a small town. One great thing that you can try out in a small town or smaller town is just simply printing out and passing out, door knockers to people in your neighborhood. So, door hangers, door flyers, whatever you want to call them. Print out, 100, 500 of them, whatever you feel like doing, and just go around, take an afternoon, maybe, hire your kids or something like that, or, put your kids at part of the business and just have them go pass out, door hangers. It will do amazing things for your business because a lot of times people like to work local. So when they realize or find out that you are a handyman just in that same neighborhood, they're going to definitely go with you over the guy that's 15 miles away. Some people, right? Some people will definitely hire local, over price for sure. But that's one thing I would recommend, trying that and also trying out Yelp in your area. Let's see. I didn't see where you are located, what town you're in, but I know Yelp has worked very well for me in Citrus Heights, just out of Sacramento, California. So that might be something that you need to look into. But there are also other forms of advertising, Yelp, Google, Facebook, Instagram. Those are things that you should be doing regardless of marketing anywhere else. Those are the number two the number two things that you need to be marketing on all the time is Facebook and Instagram. I think that those two things alone will get you so much work you don't even know. I think you need to create a business Facebook page and a business Instagram page. Super great integration between those two. Facebook owns Instagram, so you can do it pretty easily. So you just make one post on Instagram per day. That automatically posts over to your Facebook business page. You make one post every single day, pointing them to your website, and that will definitely generate a lot of leads for you. So it's very important to do that as well. You are very welcome, Los Luna Loft. Appreciate you tuning in. Dan Bob, like I said, you are on spot there. Know your hours of production and set your rate off that. Very true, very true. Nick Dyer says, how do you get reoccurring jobs or a more set job schedule? Great question. Reoccurring jobs come from customer satisfaction. So if you're not satisfying customers' needs, then you're not going to get recurring jobs. That's just plain what it is. So if you're not getting reoccurring jobs, you need to look at what you're doing wrong in your business or how you're interacting with the customers that maybe is rubbing them wrong. And you don't have to rub them completely wrong. You just don't have to rub them, completely right. So if you are doing one thing that maybe they don't like or they would change, then you're definitely not going to get referrals from them or reoccurring jobs from them. Because think of this, whenever someone calls your business, they are ready to buy. They're calling because think of when they call and they say, hey, I got a toilet that needs to be changed. You could think of it as they got cash in hand. So they got their money sitting in this hand, their phone's in this hand, right? And when they call you, it's up to you to sell that job, right? It's not up to them because they're ready. They got cash in hand. They're like, take my money, please. Just fix my, change out my toilet, take my money. But it's whenever they come to you, they're ready to buy. If they don't buy, then it's something that you did that's making them not want to buy from you. So, and that could be something like price, right? Price is a huge one, right? So say they got $40 in hand and on the phone, you tell them it's going to be $60. They're going to hang up on you right there and take their money somewhere else. But that's still something you did, right? Something that they don't necessarily like. And that's fine. That's completely fine. That's one thing you got to be extremely comfortable with in the handyman business, in any business as well, is you got to know who your specific client is and who you're going after and not try and fish for the clients that aren't your fish to catch, right? Those people who want to pay 20, 40, 50, $60 an hour, they're not my clients. Like, I already know that, and I'm fine with that. So I do lose clients, and I feel like I'm better off for it, honestly. I get plenty of clients that are more than fine with our hourly rate. We could actually even go higher with them if we wanted. We stick at a very reasonable rate for our area. And so we stand behind that, right? So when people kind of, bicker with us or things like that, that's completely fine. I understand, what we charge is not in everyone's budget, and that's cool. I wish I could help everyone, but I got to eat too. My family's got to eat. My employees got to eat. So we have a world to live in as well. So, figuring out what you're doing wrong is one of the most important things. Maybe it's even just walking into a client's house without shoe covers on. Maybe it's you getting something out of your tool trailer and the client walking past you and they look into your tool trailer and it's a complete mess. That could be something too, right? Because they're thinking in their head. Most of the time they will not say these things, right? If they, like for instance, you're changing a garbage disposal out, right? And they look down and they see a big old plumber's crack staring them in the face. They're not going to say anything, right? Just like they wouldn't say anything to the dirty tool trailer. But in their mind, they're thinking, if this guy treats his tools like this, how is he treating, something that I can't see in the project, something that he's covering up with trim, right? Same thing with the plumber's crack, right? Like, I understand that there are some bigger guys out there, but they make belts, they make suspenders, they make tucked in shirts that you could take care of that, right? So there are ways to make your presentation way better so that the client's not thinking in the background being like, wow, if he's just letting his butt hang out, what else is he, not buttoning up on my project, right? So some of those are a little far-fetched, but believe it or not, people are thinking like this. And if you don't convert leads to actual jobs and jobs sold, it's your fault at the end of the day. And you need to figure out what you're doing wrong to make that happen. So, and that may be, a hard pill to swallow, but that's what I've learned in doing this, is that everything you do is a decision, right? So some people will go around all day long and be like, man, it's so cloudy today, or it's so rainy, or the economy's bad, or so-and-so's our president, or so-and-so just got elected governor, or they just passed this bill, or they passed this bill, or the law in California only allows me to do $500, right? You can complain all day long. But at the end of the day, it's you that makes the choice on how your life's going to look at the end of the day, right? Like laws do matter, right? But there are choices you can make to avoid certain things or avoid getting in trouble and doing the right thing and when you wake up in the morning and you're about to leave the house, put your suspenders on so you don't have a plumber's crack. Or when you get done early at a job, go ahead and clean your trailer out instead of just going home, opening a beer and watching TV, right? There are choices that we make each and every single day that change the outcome of our life, right? If it's raining outside, grab an umbrella, put a jacket on, right? Go out and get the job done. Be as honest as you can. Work with integrity, and I think that that's something that's kind of lost from, this day and age, is people don't really have integrity anymore. They don't understand what that is, because it's so easy when no one's watching to do the wrong thing, right? But it's so easy, right? Believe me, but you got to force yourself to do the right thing no matter what. And these are things that are going to make people continue to hire you back and also refer you to their friends, because they're like, hey, this guy so-and-so, he is a top-notch guy. He's got his stuff together. I've never seen anything that I would say that would make me think, hey, what else is this guy not doing, right? That's what you got to be thinking about, is how does the client view you? Not how you view yourself, but how does the client view you? That I'm kind of ranting right now, but this gets me into another thing, is clients that have an issue with your business or an issue with whatever. Sometimes people come to me with complaints, be like, hey, this didn't get done right and it's really pissing me off, or, this person didn't do this right and it's just driving me crazy. And the thing is that one of the rules in business is the customer is always right. And even if they're not, it's our job to make them feel that way, right? It's our job to make them feel like they are right, even if they're not, right? So whatever the client's saying, is it Mr. Schmidt, you're right. And I'm sorry, we screwed up, and we're gonna take this one as a learning experience, and we're gonna make sure that it doesn't happen again. And sometimes when you have clients that are completely nuts, and I've had them before, you need to completely cut ties with them. And you need to not be afraid to do that. But that's kind of off topic. I'm going to get back to these comments here because I am completely ranting, so I'm sorry. So if you are still here listening to my rant, thank you very much. Like this video. Selfless plug here. Let's get to Anthony. Anthony Flores says, I've thought of doing that. I'll have to take the leap. For sure, man. Regarding, flyers putting out and things like that. Anthony Flores says, I'm in California, south of San Jose. Yeah, awesome, man. You got a huge opportunity, Anthony, like huge opportunity. Anthony Flores says, how much is a reasonable budget for Facebook ads? As much as it takes, honestly. I would perfect, before I paid for Facebook ads, I would perfect posting a Facebook post every single day, right? So perfect that before you start paying for Facebook ads. Every single day, get in the habit of posting every single morning. So when I wake up, say it's 5, say it's 6 in the morning, first thing I do is post, do a post for my business on Instagram, and then automatically post to my Facebook page. And it'll say something like, say it'll be a picture of the fence work we just did, right? Say, another quality fence job completed or something like that. And it'll say, you can request a free quote online at, and then your website, right? Those are important words to have, is always have a tagline and a way that people can get a hold of you. That's a very important thing. I see people post all the time. They say, another fence job, well done. Contact me for more information, right? Where do I contact them, right? At least leave a phone number, a website, an email address, say Facebook Messenger me, say something. Say there's got to be a call to action for these people, right? People need to see something they like. They need to see something that draws them into that, and then they need to see a call to action, right? So don't just look at this picture, but do this, right? Don't just look at this picture, but go to my website and fill out a free work request. You want your fence to look like this? Go to my website. You want your sink to look like this? Call me at this number, right? There's all these things that you need to have a call to action. So before I pay for Facebook ads, I would highly recommend you getting in the habit of posting daily on Facebook every single morning with a call to action. Very important. But as far as a reasonable budget, currently, a marketing budget, it could be different for everyone. But I would say, somewhere around the $100, $150 range if you need that, depending on your area and also how much Facebook charges you to reach a certain amount of people. So Nick Dyer says, thank you very much. Oh, talking about that rant. One more thing. Should I use a post-job survey with just a few questions for client response? Nick, I think that is an absolutely amazing idea, Nick. I love that idea. Actually, that's something that I might implement in my business. Currently, we do after a week after our job is completed, our customer relations personnel reaches out to them, the clients that we did work for, and follows up with them. Ask them, how did the job go? What were your expectations? Were those expectations met? And they write back to us and they say, oh yeah, the job was great, or the job wasn't great, whatever. And then there's certain formats that we're supposed to follow in that system regarding what they say, right? So if they like the work, then we send them a request to leave a review on Yelp, Google, Facebook, whatever. But I really like that idea of having a post-job survey, something that we could send to the people and actually have them fill out a post-job survey. I really like that idea. So I think I'm going to use that one, Nick. I'm going to steal that from you. Great idea. I love your mind thinking like that. I think that's a huge idea. Woodworking World, what's up? He says, hi, Alan Lee. I own my own business, Craig Handyman Services, LLC. I was inspired by you to finally switch from a job quote to an hourly rate. I charge $50 an hour. Is that a good rate in Indiana? Sounds good. I don't know what the market is like in Indiana, but that sounds good. When I first started here in Sacramento, I was charging $50 an hour, but it would definitely it would definitely matter on what your market looked like. So maybe even call other handymen and find out what they charge per hour, what they charge per day, and kind of match your rates to that. And really, at the end of the day, only you can be the one to see if you have a good hourly rate or not. I mean, is it supplying your needs as a handyman? Is it giving you enough money to not only live off of and pay your business expenses, but also for business growth and profit? These are very important questions to have. Jeff says, God is always watching whether any people are or not. I would agree. Anthony Flores says, thanks for your help. Hey, man, you're welcome. Jeff says, read Colossians 3:23-24 from a scripture verse on integrity in the context of work ethic. So true. I love that. So, yeah, there are a bunch of different things that encourage people to have integrity. But that is one huge thing that encourages me, is that, at the end of the day, the client may not see what you're doing, right? But God's always seeing it, right? So how are you going to be performing with that? Your local handyman says, finally pulled the trigger on an enclosed trailer. Hey, dude, that's awesome. Hey, handyman, how big of a trailer did you get? That's pretty awesome. And did you get one with a ramp door or, bifold doors, or dual swinging doors, I guess, or one swinging door? I'd love to hear it. Ryan says, treat every job like it's your own house. Very well said. Like, for instance, right, if you're installing a sink, or even assembling a bed or something like that, right? Think of it that your family is going to be using that, and that's the only sink or the only bed your family's ever going to use, right? So how would you do that for your family so that sink or that bed or whatever, that piece of furniture or the house you're building lasts as long as it can with the most integrity that it possibly can? That's a very important thing to think about. SP Alexander says, love the videos. Thanks for sharing. Hey, man, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Morales Campos says, thanks. Hope your daughter is get better. Best wishes to your family. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. A little bit about my daughter. She is currently doing great. We are here for a specialist to correct her club feet. So it's nothing that, is necessarily keeping her in the hospital or is making her sick or ill. It's basically just a foot corrective procedure. So she gets a cast about once a week, and then we have a surgery scheduled on August 15th. And basically what that is, they're just going to cut the Achilles tendon and move the foot up to the 90-degree angle and recast it, because that's basically the issue, is the foot is not holding at 90 degrees like it should. So that's just what we got going on. I really appreciate all your guys' hopes and prayers out there. She is doing great, and seeing this specialist has been absolutely amazing. It's been a really cool blessing. So thank you all so much for your well wishes with that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I actually have to get going. It is 9:47 here where I am right now. I got to get to bed because I got a vinyl plank flooring job in the morning. So your local handyman says 6x14 barn doors. I wanted a 6x12 with ramp door, but couldn't pass this one up. Bought it used, double axle with brakes for $1,500. Dude, that's a great deal. That's awesome, man. And I personally love the dual barn doors. I love that way more than ramp door. Yeah, I would agree with you. A 6x12 would probably be more optimal, but $1,500. That's a steal of a deal, dude. I love that. That's great. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I have to get going here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate being able to speak to all y'all about handyman business and things like that. You guys encourage me more than you think. So leave me a thumbs up on this video if you haven't yet. Also, watch the video that I posted this morning and comment on that video. I would love that. Scott Schreibner says, I just wanted to drop in and thank you for posting all your videos and that you have done. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You guys are definitely very welcome. The Scottish Handyman Ryan says, have a good night. Thanks. Tim says, Godspeed, Alan. Love it. Thank you all so much. I didn't know your daughter is sick. I hope everything turns out okay. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we are actually here in St. Louis to see a specialist for that. So watch the video from this morning. I talked more about that and kind of what my business is doing over in Sacramento still while I'm here in St. Louis. So it might be a pretty educational video. Check it out. Posted it this morning. Gabe says, thanks for all your videos. Thanks for the vids. Learn some electrical. Awesome, man. Okay. Thank you all so much. You all have a great evening, and we will all talk to you a little bit later. Hopefully I'll do another live stream a little bit later this week. See y'all later.